Hey, so today we would be talking about the control flow in Golang. So we have two control flow in Golang. One is if else, second one is switch case. So you might have already used these in some other programming languages like C, C++, or Java. Let's see how this works in Golang. So we will begin with the if else block. So let's first understand the syntax in Golang. So we will write the keyword if, then we will write our uh, conditional statement over here. So let's say as of now I'm just writing true, and then I'm just opening the curly braces and writing the statement that I want to execute inside this if block. Now, unlike other programming languages where we put these parentheses around the if condition, does not expect you to put the parentheses around the statement. So even if you put the parentheses around the conditional statement, it will be removed automatically by the Go formatter during compile time. So let's try to execute this and see what happens. So here the parentheses got removed by the Go formatter and the R statement got executed over here and works got printed. Okay. Now the second important thing regarding the syntax is that let's say we have just one line to execute after the if statement. So I'm just writing something to print. Okay. So in other programming languages, it could have worked like we have just one statement after the if block. So just execute this if the condition holds true. But in Golang, we always need to declare the block of if or else using the curly braces. So if we didn't do that, let's see what happens over here. So probably we will get some error. Okay. So we got the error regarding the syntax error. This is because we didn't declare the curly braces. So now if we declare our curly braces for the if block and then we try to print something inside this, it will work perfectly fine. Okay. So this was regarding the syntax. Similarly, for the else block, let's say we have something to print. I'm just printing else, and let's make this condition false so that else block got executed. Okay, so else uh, got executed over here. Now let's see some cool feature of using if else in Golang. So let's say we have one variable num1 is equal to 10, num2 is equal to 5, and inside a variable result we are just finding the modulus of num1 and num2. Okay, now we just want to do that if result is equal to 0, but do something over here. So as of now we are just printing a statement. Okay, yeah, so if we write the correct spelling, it should work fine. Okay, so 10 modulus 5 equal to 0, this holds true, and this got printed over here. Okay, now if you can see, we use this variable just to find the result and initialize this variable with our result and compare that over here. So in Golang, if we have any such scenario where we need to initialize a variable just for using that in the if block, we can do that in the if block itself. So we actually don't require this. So just remove it from here. And now in if, we want our variable to be initialized. So we are just initializing our variable in the if block itself. So num1 modulus num2, we will put the semicolon. So this is important over here. If you don't put this, it will give some syntax error. Okay, so we just initialized our variable result in the if block itself, and then we have our condition over here using the variable that we just initialized. Now if we try to run this, it should work perfectly fine. Yeah, so this got printed. Now the important part is that the variable that we initialized in if block has a scope limited to this block itself. So if we try to access this variable inside this block, it will work perfectly fine. So it should print 0. Okay, so this is accessible over here. Now if we try to access the same variable outside the block, then it will throw some error. Okay, so we got undefined result. So this variable result is undefined on line number 16. This is because this variable has a scope limited to if, and we cannot use it outside. Okay, so this was the pretty much use of if else in Golang. So this is just a kind of a beginner level intro about the if else block in Golang. Okay, now let's see the working of switch case. So first we will write the switch keyword, then we will declare our block. Inside this we will have our case. So I am putting case A. So here we will just print something. Let's say I'm printing A itself, and then we will have the default case. So if none of case matches here for the provided key, we will just execute the statement inside default block. Okay, now here we will just write our key. Okay, so similar to the if statement in Golang, we not require to put the parenthesis around the key of switch, and also we can initialize our variable or key in the switch statement itself. So let's say I'm initializing it with A, and now we are using this variable tag as a key over here. So if we execute this, it should work. So basically, this got formatted by the Go formatter. Okay, so our key is tag, value we initialized is A. This case got executed, and we have our output here. Okay, so this is one way of using switch in Golang, where we have our key defined along with the switch statement. Okay, now let's say we have a variable which is defined or declared at some other place, and we wanted to use that inside our switch case statement. So in Golang we can do that as well. So let's say we have our variable, I'm calling it key. Let's give it value A. Okay, so just assume it in this way that this variable is defined or declared at some other place and have some value calculated dynamically, or maybe at some other place. Okay, and now we just want to use this variable inside our switch case to write the cases. So we can just do it this way. We will try to run this, it will work perfectly fine. Okay, so this worked. Now just to test the default block, just write some other string over here and then see. So our default is block got executed over here. So this is the use of switch case in Golang. So we can use it in either way, along with a key passed with the switch block, and without the key which is declared or initialized at some other place, and we are just using that variable inside our switch block. Okay, so hope this was helpful to you. Thanks.